Hi, this is Project CoverShack, and this time we are not going to be doing a cover of one song, but this will be a little bit of blog that we want to do. The main reason why we are doing this is because it is like a close of season 1. All right, we have been running Project CoverShack with all the different kinds of covers that we've been doing. It started in late 2020, and so we ended the final season. Sorry, we ended the final episode of season 1. The last update was we did a cover for "Before the Rain" by Duran Duran. That will be the closing of season 1. Now we're going to start season 2 very soon enough, by next week, but this would be like basically the blog session that we'll do. Normally we will all be also shooting some vlogs as well for Project CoverShack, so it's not just only doing covers alone. We'll be also doing some vlogs as well, right? Video vlogs. So the topic of our vlog today would be about COVID-19 and the reason why there will be more delays regarding of us trying to post more videos, because I'm coming from Malaysia. As Project CoverShack, we just had a tremendously big news that our leader, Prime Minister, has just came out with an update regarding the COVID-19 problem. It came to us on last Monday with an announcement where they're going to actually reintroduce a stricter movement control order, which meant that schools will be closed, colleges will be closed, many workplaces will be closed, and everybody will be working from home. And there's not much of movement that's being allowed. That means crossing from interstate travel is immediately closed off. Of course, foreign overseas travel is also, the borders are closed. So they want to do this because there was a high spike of new cases, over 30,000 new cases on a daily basis, which was very tremendously alarming. So the Prime Minister had given an order to put a 14 days movement control order at the start of January until the 26th of January, if I'm not mistaken. Could be wrong, but that was an announcement that he made on Monday. As soon as he made that announcement on Monday, come the very next day, Tuesday, there was buzzing news where our king, the Yang di-Pertuan Agong, who is basically the king of all the kings, each of the different states in Malaysia, it has a king. But you see, our political system in Malaysia is quite different compared to any other countries. We are a monarchy democratic country. That means that we have a monarch. We are ruled by king. But each state also has its own king. But all of the different kings will elect one of their main monarch to be like the king of kings, and that is known as the Agong. So all of the different state kings or the state rulers will appoint the Agong after a certain period of time for his reign. So the Agong in Malaysia has the ultimate power. If he chooses to, he can actually elect a prime minister. He hasn't done that before, as per our known history, Malaysian history. He has never done that, but he has the power to do so. Basically, he has ultimate power in Malaysia. Not really the prime minister. The prime minister has to undergo an election. Every 4 years we have an election, and during the outcome of the election is where we'll be able to select the prime minister. Whoever who's leading the party who wins the election, that person will become the prime minister. So it works similar to the American style. However, Tuesday, our King of Kings, the Agung, he made a recommendation where he wanted to give a full lockdown. That means he wanted to create what is known as an emergency. In the Malay word, they call it darurat, which actually meant emergency. But without the interference of the military to take over. That means it's not like a military coup. It's basically a very strict movement or restriction of movement, which was actually introduced, and he recommended to do this restriction of movement for until August 2021. That is from January all the way to August. That's about an 8-month period. It's really extremely alarming for everybody in Malaysia, but he's the king. He can do whatever the hell he wants, and no one can question, because he's the king. Even the prime minister has no choice. So on Tuesday he had to make up this emergency announcement telling what's happening. But the prime minister was saying that he's going to create a committee with all the other opposition parties as well, to get together, create a committee and inform His Highness Royal Majesty about the current situation in Malaysia, the number of cases. Should the number of cases goes down and the situation comes handleable situation, they are going to recommend to the king so that he will remove this emergency period. And the last time Malaysia has gone into an emergency period was way back during the racial rioting era, during the May 13 incident, which was in the past, way before even I was born. And that was the only first time that I know of that they introduced this emergency system. All right, it was very tough back then, but they're saying that this emergency is not because of racial rioting, or it's not because of trying to stop any military coup or something like that. They put this for the defense for the country and the people, so that we are not going to go and suffer under pandemic disease, because that is already being stated as the justification to issue out an emergency. It's all legislation. But however, getting back to Project CoverShack and how does this immediately affect me, is that right now I will be making my videos will be based back at home. So I'll be doing basically a lot less, because I have my family to take care right now. So now that I'm forced to stay at home, my family becomes priority number one. So I need to do a lot of other things to keep the upkeep of my family. So I have to do the groceries, I have to do the laundries, a lot of the internal work at home thing that I have to do. And it's going to be a little bit more tougher, because especially in terms of grocery shoppings, I don't think most of the grocery shops will be open, but I think we have to do it online. So yeah, we are moving towards quite a tough position in time in our country. So that is the kind of update that I want to tell you. But however, in terms of, I feel that this is the best time for me to produce more content in our channel, Project CoverShack. So I'll strive to do more, but I will do more with less. That means, that being said, I do not want to create, my next videos will be straight to the point, no intros, there will be no other information, bad talk or whatever, or like I've done those kind of videos in my previous posting, and I felt that it kind of like hampers the singing process. So I thought that we need to get rid of that completely. So now, coming forward, all our videos from now on will be done in such a way where I will be singing the song. There'll be just the title of the video is there. The moment you click play, it's on. I'll be singing straight. so there's no and I want to also try to use different other tools as well. I'm going to be able to kind of experiment with other video editing tools to make sure that we get the audio right. Okay, so this will be like my vlog session I'm doing for Project CoverShack. I will also be doing from time to time. I'll be also going onto Facebook to do live session on Facebook, but on social media as well. There's a lot of changes in social media, and just recently there's this big problem about privacy issues concerning WhatsApp, where the users of WhatsApp, their data will be saved in Facebook server, and there are a lot of people who are having a lot of concerns regarding this issue, especially about their privacy. So even as I and Project CoverShack, we are like wondering if it's going to be a good idea to even maintain our Facebook profile as well. I mean, it's very important to have a Facebook present, but as of now, the way things are going with the social media, it's privacy is very important right now, and I do not want to be a part of a bigger problem here. That's why I feel that it's better for me to remove myself from these huger problems that's going to come my way in terms of privacy, data, and identity, property, intellectual property. There's a whole lot of things that's going into that, because people's data is being moved from one server to another server, and this data can be available to third parties, so they could customize and give out ads, and it's a nightmare. And a lot of people in WhatsApp are immediately uninstalling WhatsApp, and they're moving to other companies, other messenger services, like there's like Signal, there's also like Telegram, there's so many others. There's also WeChat, so many other messenger services out there. So it is a cause for concern, because for Project CoverShack, we are maintaining lots and lots of contacts in Facebook. Especially we are members of the various different cover groups in Facebook, and it's going to be very hard for me to simply just move away from that platform and go to another platform. It's going to be really tough, because I can't see that sort of amount of members and that sort of amount of exposure in all the other social media sites that have their own groups as well. For instance, we're also members in MeWe, which is like a big rival for Facebook, but I don't see many of my contacts in MeWe because it's highly unpopular. A lot of people may have not heard about MeWe. And another one is called sociallife.me. Social Life is actually a Malaysian-based social media website, which is it was done by one of my very own friends, actually my student when I was working in a previous place. He was one of the students who was learning PHP and MySQL. So that's how we got to know each other. In fact, I was one of the main recruiters for recruiting him to become a student. And apparently he has grown after that. He has done so many other things, and he's learned many things as well. And he's been able to develop this completely new social media website called sociallife.me. And I'm super proud of him for him to create that. And when he launched it, I was shocked that wow, this is great. This is something very beautiful. And so I wanted to try it out, and you guys should try it out. It's really, really interesting. I feel it has great potentials to be a really good alternative for Facebook. It's really depending on you how you want to use sociallife.me. If you're the kind of person who's very, very edgy or scared about privacy issues, do not be. I don't think that it's going to be any ads so far. I've never seen any ads in either MeWe. I've never seen any ads in sociallife.me. These are the different kind of social media that follows the footsteps of Facebook, but they are different. Their business model is completely different. Facebook is a real pure made for profit kind of business model. So going forward, Project CoverShack, we want to actually try to tell you that this is what's happening in our country, and this is what's happening out there in the world. And in America, there's also a huge amount of drama that's going on in your Capitol Hill, Joe Biden and Trump. There's so much drama. I just hope that you guys be strong, and let's make 2021 a better year than how it was last year. But unfortunately, things are not looking so promising as of now, and that's the sad part. So going forward, I'm also going to do this one song cover. I'm going to do a retro cover.